This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
I would just like to say that
Good
what I
evening.
sent was actually a research online. I was just trying to
Okay.
look for things that has to do with the question, our take-home question last Sunday, and I stumbled on it online. So I believe that everything should be done in moderation. For me now, I'm not a lover of meat anyway. I eat more of fish than meat. But I know that a little quantity of meat in and out helps at least a lot. So I do it in between. And I think one of the things that that particular point stresses is that you should get a variety. You should do a mix of, it mentioned pork, beef, and one other one I can't remember. And so, anything
A
we
lot, a
do in
lot.
life, I think there should be a level of moderation. So, anyone that finds, since, in fact, what not even gave me the concern was the fact that it was mentioned as the first thing. So,
Yes,
you will
so
now begin to imagine that it seems there is a kind of importance the writer seems to place on
have
it
one.
or something. So somehow, but I just want to say that I don't have a straightforward answer to that because I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it entails. I don't know what happens to you when you eat too much meat, but at least we have been told not to eat too much of it. And too much of everything too might not be good for us. So we should just try as much as possible to stay on the moderate lane and eat it in between and go on with our fish, our meat in and out, as we already know. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Anybody with any question before we move on? Mr. Dixon, good evening.
Yes,
Can you open your mic? Okay.
good evening, boss. Regarding what Mrs. Bukola said, I am saying good evening to everyone, foremost. Regarding what she said, I believe also that, we should eat not only meat, but any kind of food in moderacy. Because when you take excess of it, you might have the side effect. I took excess vitamin C this week, and it was as if I was on drugs. So excess of anything is bad. It's just the truth. And what would help you more in your sex life? I believe the food is very important. Your diet. That's if your wife is informed. And besides that, I think sex is a mind game. So if if you want to be more active, it all depends on your mind. Sometimes in your mind you're tired of your woman, so there's no way you're going to be, um, there's no way it's going to be fun for you, and it becomes a burdensome. So I think the mind also has to be settled in one aspect, which food may not be able to do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Quickly before we go on, I just want to break some protocol. I have somebody in the house that is joining us for the first time today, and I quickly want to tell the person how to use the mic. You people have been doing well, and I appreciate that. Thank you all for. I know you can all hear me right now clearly. The person joining us is not joining us from Nigeria, but she's actually joining us all the way from India. She said she saw the flyer in somebody's status or something like that, and she messaged us to send the link. And the person is in the house right now, all the way from India, Nadini. Nadini, good evening to you. Whether you are there in the morning or anywhere, good day to you. Please, if you want to speak, there is a microphone logo in front of you. You just press it, then we can be able to hear you. You can quickly do that now so that we can hear your voice. Thank you everybody for pushing our flyers on social media. We are going global, like one of my friends will say, we're going global now. All right, so another question for today. Some people sending questions during the week. So quickly, let me just drop it because of our time. He said, can husband rape his wife? Is it possible for a man to rape his wife? That's one of the questions. I don't know, maybe you should answer that now. Then the second one is how to find the right partner. How do we find the right partner? The first one has to do with married people. The second one is for the single. How to find the right partner. Can husband rape his wife? Somebody is putting on his mic. Laulu, your mic is on. Do you want to talk? Please, if you want to talk, let me just see.
Okay. Uh, well, um, okay. Can I go ahead, sir?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. I would, although I'm not married, so I would love to respond to the first question, even though I'm not married. But then with the little experience I've got, and then some of those things we've heard, combining everything together, I think it's possible you rape your wife if you cannot take away consent from whatever you are doing. I think you understand. And then it is important that we get our consent in place before we do anything, as far as that is concerned. And I think that's when the fun of it would even come in, because if someone is really interested in that kind of a thing, and the other partner is not really interested, I think there's no way they cannot get along. Even if one person is trying to have fun, the other person might not really be okay with it. I think you understand. And I think we have so many so many things that might cause that. I don't really have the deep experience, and I wouldn't like to go beyond that too. Okay, so to the second question, uh, getting a partner. Okay, I
How to
think
find the
we.
right partner.
Yeah, can you hear me, please? Hello.
Did we lose you there? Okay, we
Yeah,
can
can
hear
you
you
hear me?
now.
We can
Okay,
hear you.
We can hear you. Go on.
okay. Yeah,
Yes.
on the part of getting a partner, I think uh I would love to come from several angles, and then number one, we should not uh, uh, how will I say it now? Restrict our
Mhm.
mind. Okay, we should not restrict our mind. We should be open-minded. Number one, because apart from the fact that okay, there's a saying in Yoruba language. Let me see if I can actually say it in English. If that would be,
Say
if
it
it will
first. Say
go
it
well.
first. Say it first. My interpret.
Okay, that
Say the Yoruba.
uh,
We interpret.
okay, that obìnrin tá a bá fẹ́ lójú ijó ìran ló máa ń wò lọ. So let me start from that. Of course, I don't want to contradict myself from the first statement I made, but then I feel getting a partner, we must not restrict our mind. You must not close your mind. Of course, you might be thinking, okay, if you are a Christian, I want to get one in church. Okay, it might be good for you. We've had scenarios where partners meet, maybe at the mall, at in school, some friends. In fact, we have some other guys. They might be online too, but then it depends on how you see it, and that's why I said we should not restrict our minds. Okay, my wife must come from this particular place. I think you understand. And then we should have it that we should also know
Yes.
that, of course, we are in a kind of environment whereby they have positioned our mind that okay, you cannot marry from a tribe, you cannot marry from uh, a particular community. Of course, based on people are saying that based on their experience. But then for me, I think getting a partner, if we really want to be fair enough, we should not restrict our mind. We should not restrict our mind, and then you know what you want. It's part of those things.
Okay,
You know
okay,
what you want. Yeah. So let me
okay.
stop
Thank you
there
for
for
your
now.
time.
Yeah.
Time out. Yes, I want to time you out. Thank you for your input. Now, let me call. Let me call. Who can I call now? Let me call on Mr. Otito Koro there before coming to. I love Dixon too much. I love Mr. Otito Koro. Your name is short. Mr. Otito Koro David. How do we find the right partner? How to find the right partner? Just on your mic. How to find the right partner?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, well done, sir. To find
Yes,
the
sir.
right partner, I believe it's all about what we want. It's just like a demand and supply. What we are
Hmm.
looking for and what we will get. So there are good ladies everywhere, I believe, and to find them, though human being, the behaviors of human being are never you can never comprehend it, but uh, provided that we are in the same page. For example, you ask some people answer some question here last week about can a Christian marry Muslim,
Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I get some points there very well that they may not be on the same page. If you will want to get a real partner, that is the first thing that I believe that should be in the parity. The Bible says that two cannot work together unless they agree, provided they can
Except they
agree
agree.
to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is it. Those are the things that I believe that the thing that can make us find the right partner. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong, but every one of us, we are just and finding the right partner. This is what my G always said. He said that both men and women, we are all managing ourselves. Nobody can please you. It's only God. So we are
Yes,
all
sir.
managing ourselves. But we must, just like what you posted, that if man is 80% and we should be able to sacrifice the remaining 20%. What I just see in marriage is that marriage is a sacrifice. You drop many things you like to do and to incorporate into the life of another person. So to find the right partner, it depends on what we want.
Okay.
Then
Thank you for that. Let me twist the question a little bit from my own experience and for the person that asked the question, so that I can get a clearer definition. You can put off your mic now because of background noise. Yeah. From what you just said, I say from somebody what demand and supply, what you want. Now let's assume that okay, as a man or as a woman, you want somebody that nobody wants a short man. Thank God that I'm married because I'm short. Everybody wants a tall guy, a tall man, dark, handsome, or yellow. It may not be dark, but tall. Now, after waiting for a long time, you still not see the tall. I know people have been saying what you want depends on what you want. Now, you just say you want tall, dark, or and tall are not coming your way. The only people that are
hello
coming your
sir,
way are average.
hello sir,
I'm
hello
hearing.
sir.
Okay, sir. Go
All,
ahead.
all those factors, tall, black, Nigerian, they are nonsense. They are things that don't matter in marriage.
It
Once
matters. But go ahead. Go ahead.
something, okay, you want somebody that is tall. Those qualities don't mean that somebody is tall. Don't mean he will be a good father.
It's
Doesn't mean
just
that
what
he
you
will
want.
be.
You are not talking of good now. Don't get us wrong. It works for
No,
me. It works for me. So don't say it doesn't work. I am short, so I needed somebody that is taller. So that because I don't want my children to go and be short, and it works for me. Go ahead.
those qualities that many of the man or ladies are looking for in getting the right partner. Maybe I want somebody that is tall, or must not be from a specific tribe. I don't believe there are things that really matter, because I listened to one of the message of Bishop Oyedepo. He said that when you want to marry, you are asking how much is your salary? Say, how much are you earning? What is your... Most of those questions, they are not things that really
Mr.
matter.
David, Mr. David,
Sir,
hold on. Let me cut you short there. I will come back to you, but let me put in some examples so that you know that it's important. I'm not putting this on the house. I'm just trying to share my own experience. I'm from the pastor you are talking of. There was a lady. Let me quickly land it. There was a lady I read in a book. In fact, some of those pastors' book. These ladies were looking for a life partner or a husband, and she said for like 5 years after school she couldn't get. And one day she has been working in the church, and a pastor walked up to her and said, "Okay, sister, what is your problem?" She said, "I need a husband." You just tell God you need a husband, but you are not specified. And I'm going to take you to the Bible, even though I don't quote too much of the Bible. The pastor says, "You need a husband. What type of husband do you want from God?" She says she doesn't know. And the pastor says, "How do you want God to now answer what you don't know?" So when you are saying physical, all those things are not important. I'm putting into it that from my own even experience, correct me. It's just on your mic, I will shut up.
okay,
It's
sir.
important in the sense, Mr. David, off your mic. Let me learn, not you.
The Bible
It's
says
important in the
that
sense that now, after that, let me finish my testimony with that lady. You will talk next, don't worry. After that, the lady now went and list 10 list of the kind of man she wants. And in less than 2 months, according to the pastor of the book I read, he said the man just walked in, or maybe the man has been coming to the church, but because she doesn't actually know what she wants, but now she saw all the physical, all the things that she put. I want the man to maybe to even short all those things. Now, let me take you to the Bible before you quote it. The Bible says in one Old Testament, have a thought first before God put his before God thought that the fire can come to pass in your life. So if you say you want a tall man, but God wants a short man for you, but it's still good for you to go ahead to have your own definition of the kind of person you want. So I leave the mic for you now.
okay, sir. In terms of that lady, it's not that you don't have those images of the man that you want like in the beginning, but it lacks orientation. Sometimes we may have the image of what we want, but we don't know how to present it. So even the Bible says that God look at a human being. We are looking at the
Outside,
outside, and God look at
outside
the intent.
appearance, God looking well.
It is the intent that really makes man on anybody we are talking about in this thing. If we are tall, if we are okay, we are very black like a black Moses or any other thing. If the real intent of the humanity is not there, we are still nothing. Just as I understand, sir. Just to cut it short. It is not the physical appearance, though we must not be ugly and not be those very ugly at
Nobody is ugly.
appearance,
Nobody is
outward
ugly.
appearance. But we must be presentable reasonably. But it's not those tall, handsome, those things that really makes a marriage. It's not. I've been in a church where the pastor said that somebody is there that is looking for a wife or for a husband. He said, your
Can
husband is
somebody,
somebody.
can somebody, can somebody argue with Mr. David? I'm the only one arguing with you. I don't want to argue with him again. Can somebody come in? Mrs.
No,
Bukola.
it's not about argument actually, but I have a parallel position. I have a
Okay,
parallel
okay.
position with Mr. David, in the sense that we live in a world that picks by appearance. Just go to any mall or any hypermarket, and I mean, browse through the shelves trying to buy something for yourself. I tell you, the most attractive package can make you decide to buy it. So it is the kind of world that we live in that the appearance first. It is the appearance that brings about the attraction. So it is when you're attracted that you get into that person really before you eventually find out if it's going to work out before you or not. So if you don't meet the specs in the first place, that person may not look your way. So don't tell people, go about telling people that you're the best. I mean, you're the best girl, you're the best guy. I'm like an angel. It's just that I don't, I don't put up a good appearance. No, it's the appearance in the first place that will attract to you, and
I, I,
usually
I,
we will attract what we want.
I'm not
I
saying
mean, we will attract what we want, and we can do that by actually presenting ourselves in a way that match the kind of people that we want to attract. So outward appearance matters, but I understand what Mr. Davis is trying to say, that ultimately in marriage, the appearance will no longer matter. Sometimes, eventually in the marriage, but then some people, even at old age, at 60, they still want to see their spouse looking like when they were still in the 20s or 30s. So appearance to some people will always matter, and to some others may mean nothing, maybe sooner or later. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Bukola, go
If
ahead.
I make here, I would just like to say that there is a popular saying that says beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes, sir.
And what we seem to be arguing about is actually an individual decision to make. It is not something we should be arguing about, because what appeals to you may not appeal to me, and what appeals to another may actually mean nothing to me.
Exactly my
So
point.
the truth is that when it comes to situations like this, for me, I don't like to pitch a tent on a particular ground, because we actually see from our own angle, and others also see from their own angle. And based on that, I would just like to say that people getting partners based on sight or physique or stuff like that, they have their rights, because every human being has a choice to make. In the midst of so many things, we want to make a choice. And most of the time, we always want to go for the best that is available to us and that has been able to appeal to our judgment. Now, having that down, um, I have this, that talking about getting the right person to marry is, individuals already have something in mind. Black Moses talked about somebody that said she has been praying for husband, but she doesn't even know the kind of husband she wants. Then it just seems that that person just wants anything, anybody. Maybe she has waited and waited, and she just wants anything that comes her way. And that is not a
Hmm.
good way. That is not a good way to actually get married, because if anything comes your way, you will not appreciate it. What you get by chance, you lose it by chance. So it's better for us to define what we want. Now, when you now have a spiritual authority that you are submitted to, where our faith or our religious profession comes in, then you will now bring it back to the table based on your belief. And then, if that is not what God wants for you, in quotes, then you sort it out and free your mind. But I know that most of the time, what we get is as a result of what has been able to appeal to our judgment, and what our judgment has been able to accept as something. And that is why most of the people that get married based on maybe pity, this person has done this for me, has done this for me, sponsored me to read all of that and that, and I don't want to be seen as a bad person, and you marry that person eventually. Some of them have issues, because that was actually not what they wanted. It was situation and circumstances that tend to put them in that. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, can
Okay.
hear you.
So when situation puts you in a particular environment, you discover that somehow you are not comfortable at the end of the day, especially when you now see what you actually want in that environment. Some people end up following what they want. That is why some people go out of their marriage to fornicate, to commit adultery and all of those stuff, which is not necessary. So it's better you know what you want and you go for it. That is where I just want to chip what I want to chip in for now.
Hmm. You are losing your connection
See
there.
your connection there.
Yeah, somehow.
Okay, thank you for your input. Thank you for your input. Anybody wants to go next? How to find the right partner was the question that was raised. So that is where we link it to physical attraction, what you want. In case you have been looking for who to marry or your partner, there are some things, there are some process that actually have to be in place. The bone of contention here is not necessarily telling us that, for example, I like I said from my own experience, I love black. So and my wife is black. And I know right from time I don't want to marry a yellow or a fair lady. But what if God is that what God have been coming my way? Maybe fair lady have been coming my way. Of course, God will be done. So, but what we are saying is at least you should have something laid down that okay, this is what you actually want. And maybe if it doesn't work, this one comes, this is what God asked for you, then you have to go with what God asked for you, not what you have for yourself. But at least you must have like a vision, what you kind of want for yourself. So that is where you Samuel Kolawole is join us late. So that is has been our conversation for the last 15 minutes, I guess. And who else came in late? Anybody wants to add anything to the question before we move on?
Um,
Hello.
this came to my mind, please. Maybe I should just drop it. It might help
Okay.
someone. That, a lot of people, most of the time, we try to talk about the will of God, the will of God. The will of God is actually not tied to just one person, that it has to be that dark bisola in your church or in your environment, you understand, it's not tied to a particular person, but is tied to a particular character, a particular personality that your heart longs for, a particular personality that your heart longs for. And the person might be short, the person might be tall, the person might be of average height. Whatever the size of the body doesn't matter, except you now decide to peg it into a particular picture of a body that you have cooked up in your mind. But when we talk about the will of God, sometimes we try to put it in a slim shape, in a fat person, in a moderate sized person. But the will of God that we actually talk about is not tied to a particular face or a figure. It is about our ability to discern what is good for us and in the context of our faith as we adjudge it or as we accept it. That is what it should be, or that is what is expected to be, not just a particular person or a particular figure or a particular shape. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Bukola. Let's call on other people that needs to talk. Okay, Laolu, you just put on your mic.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs.
Can we hear from
Zakari.
you?
Yeah, can you hear me now, please?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Zakari. I've really learned a lot from what you said, and then you have said, like, what you said is great and right. So what I just want to add is this: that like was it Mr. Otitokoro that said something the other time that based on appearance, color, shape, and the likes. I want to concur to some of those things he said. And personally, I believe we should not build the center of attraction to our partner on appearance alone. Of course, that would be a disaster if anything change or if anything changes in the nearest future. I think you understand. In fact, we live in a world whereby you cannot really guarantee what will happen to your color, for example, to your shape, for example, in let's say a coming years. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Of course, I'm not saying those things are not
Yes.
important. Of course, they are important because when you meet someone for the first time, you cannot literally know their character. Those things that would attract you would be the appearance and the likes. But then it is beauty is not enough. Physical appearance is not enough. As much as we use that as a basis to know the kind of person we are going to journey with, those things for me personally, in my own opinion, I think they are just secondary, and we should not solely base and build our love on that alone. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then, yes, in line with what Mrs. Zekari said, the will of God is not tied to one person. Like our religion have taught us in the in the past years that okay, it is that one person. God has tied you to one person. you know some of my friends, we used to laugh about the issue that no, that means if a single person misses that person, that means all of us in this world, we have missed it. But then that's not true. That's not true. And as a matter of fact, it is a thing of mind. And whatever, above all, I believe whatever decision we are making, because we are religious people and we are spiritual people. We should learn to take things spiritual too. And that's my own opinion. In whatever decision we are making, we should go the spiritual way too, to justify whatever decision we are making.
Okay, thank you. Just to let you know, all our conversation are being recorded, and we will send you the link later after the meeting for us to go back and listen to it. Mr. David, since you want to say something quickly
Thank
before we move to this topic.
you. Just like I was writing one article recently about marriage, and this thing just came to my mind after the article that after this, it's just a presentation that your partner or your wife, if he or he, if she or if he lose one of his hand, can you still love him? Assuming he lose one of his leg or eye or something somehow, will you still love him as a man or as a woman? The person will say we are. So uh, that thing just came to my mind after the sentence to ask as a question.
Okay, you muted yourself, so I think you asked a question. Will you still love? Is that a question, Mr. David?
Uh,
Yes, will you still love? Is that a
yes,
question?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, house. In case, okay, somebody wants to answer your question. Mrs. Bukola, I want to answer the question.
He actually said he was going to ask that the question came to his mind based on what we have been discussing. And the truth
Okay.
is that a lot of people fail at this point because you married someone that was slim. I watched a movie some years back. I think it was before I got married, and that taught me a great lesson. The movie, it was actually a Christian home. It's a Christian home. When they got married, the woman was very slim, and I think the man loved her that way. And suddenly, along the line, they were not even blacks. along the line, the lady started putting on weight. And it's like the man has called attention to it. Do exercise, 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 burn off this fat that you are building up and all of that. And the lady seemed not to be able to achieve her original or her previous body size. And it became a serious problem that the home was at the verge of breaking up, you know,
Thank you.
until a point when the Spirit of God ministered to the man that this woman is under your roof. You have been able to feed her for, the number of years you people have been together. Why should this? If you want her to exercise and, lose the weight, what about the little you have also gained between the time you got married? Why is she not hammering that you should lose weight? Meanwhile, you two have gained some weight. So he had to organize an exercise, and both of them started exercising just to shed weight. So it could be as serious as that, but that one is even on the mild side. Take the case of someone who had an accident. You married a black ebony, and something happened. Maybe, God forbid, she was working in the kitchen one day, oil poured on her, hot one for that matter, and peeled her body. Would somebody, because of that, throw the woman out of the house and go and marry another ebony? The truth is, certain things present themselves as we grow in marriage. And it is the love, the genuineness of your love at the point of that, of starting off that relationship, that tend to sustain some of these things. Your understanding, your maturity, and all of those things. So there is just a lot of things that has to do with marriage. Marriage takes from a man and a woman a high level of maturity. Let me not just say a level of, because it's not an ordinary thing that you go into, and it's for matured minds. Because when your mind is not mature to take, to stand the with to stand by the consequences of, your decision at a particular time, it becomes difficult for you to face it when it becomes a reality. So we must be able to prepare for the unforeseen, the future that we cannot see, that we cannot tell. That you marry the person's present, you marry the person's future, you marry the person with the past. And that helps the relationship. When that is the mindset, whatever you find in between, you responsibly come together to sort the ones that can be sorted, and the ones that cannot be sorted, most often it is expected that we live with them the way a lot of people will want to conclude. And some people who cannot actually handle those things just give in and step out of the relationship.
Thank you, Mrs. Bukola. I still have like five, six questions, but I'm tempted to not jump into those questions. What you just said now, I'm starting to be corrected anyway. I love what you said about the physical body. We are trying to be too spiritual here. We are trying to run away from the body, the shape, the physique. And I love the fact that I use the exercise. Like the man has to lead by example. This is the shape he wants. In some cases, like the accident, maybe the woman is fair or the husband is fair, hot water or something. I think that one, when you call it that, like that is like accident. Then everybody, a normal human being will reason that okay, this is an accident. It can't be because of that. It can happen to anybody, even it can happen to the man or woman. But when it comes to like all this physical shape or something like that, I think that is where we have issue. Like you said, thank God you said you watch the movie before getting to marriage. And that is one reason why I think we discussed it some weeks back that we should talk about everything before going to any relationship. If I want a slim woman and I actually marry because you are slim, it is very important to the man. Yes, I know that after giving birth, maybe the first child or second child, you put on weight. Then the man, I like about I think last year, a man came to my gym. I know him very well in Akure. The wife is so big now after giving birth, and he has to drag the woman to gym. That come take the he gave the coach. I want you to lean. That is leading by example. Though. I want you back for your shape. He has to do that. Some of these things that you feel like okay, it doesn't matter, just getting to marriage, spiritual, all those things. Sometimes it's better to even to the man, to the woman. A man that is your husband, you are a six-pack person. The woman loves you that way, and because you are now married, you are now eating pounded yam like me and goat meat. Before you know, pot belly don't show. The woman doesn't like it. Even pulling off your clothes outside, said the woman will not like it. So I think sometimes, like you said, I love it, the exercise. It's more important that we should take all these things into consideration. It's like somebody says, I read somebody say, sex spice up the relationship. It's not even everything we are trying to say in relationship. Sex doesn't make relationship last longer, but it is part of it.
Yeah.
Even all this
Yeah.
concentration we are saying, list it for God, list it for yourself. I think it's still part of it. So all this part that we pick all around, I think that one makes it 100% in marriage. Because when sex is there, it's part. When the shape you are looking for is there, yes. Then when other things you are looking for, all those things, part, they are spare parts, join it together. You have a full car. Mrs. Bukola, hold on. Mr. DC want to talk. He on his mic.
Oh, I'm not
Yes,
talking. I'm just responding to what you said.
Okay.
I like what Mrs. Bukola said actually, but I still want to say this because there are many angles to marriage, and like Black Moses has said that you should talk about everything. I like that statement. You talk about everything. It's not only happening to the men, even the women also want to see their men, their husbands in certain shape. You don't know for which shape your wife agreed to get married to you. So these things are really important. Don't talk. But from the point of view of women in marriage, I think when they get married, there's this level of laxity, and finally I've gotten to my bus stop. It's a common talk in the street, and it's the reality in marriage. Women don't see it that way. A man who gets married to you for certain will, in certain ways that you're dressing, you always dress for it, for everywhere you go as if you're dressing for the job. Your shape is intact. Of course, as a man, every man with taste, I'm talking about taste. Taste has to do with class, it has to do with status. Every man with taste, even if they're getting married to a woman, they anticipate that this woman is going to add on weight, but they don't expect it to go overboard. And now, when it begins to go overboard, it becomes an issue. Not only the overweight aspect only, but the way the woman dresses. When there are drops in this appearance, see, man with taste, they go for appearance. It's not that you have to be the most beautiful woman. No, it may be just the way you dress. It may be your style. There are certain styles that has nothing to do with your appearance or your dressing. It's just the style, the way you talk, the way you engage people. There are certain things that attract that man to you, and it will do you well if you talk about everything to actually know those things and make sure that this your strength does not depreciate, because once it begins to depreciate, this man, you begin to torment his feelings like, oh, so I end up with this. How unfortunate I am in life to end up with this kind of luggage. But this man won't tell you this thing. The man won't tell you these things, but deep down in him, he might be feeling so. I'm not talking about every man now. I'm talking about men with taste. So it's important to know these things. Talk about everything. Know your strength, and don't let it go. I mean, don't lose it. It's going to keep your marriage, young and yummy. I mean, for a very long time in your marriage. That's my input.
Oshe brother me, God bless you. Anybody wants to go?
Amen.
See now you are supporting you, Mrs. Bukola. Everybody like what you said last, so yeah, fire on.
That's the truth now. We should not, because of marriage, and turn ourselves to burden for the other person now.
Abi una say be God, I mean God give you to marry now. You have no choice. Okay,
Yeah, I
let me
think
wait.
it's when people have everything on God. There are
Yeah, I
things
don't.
there are things we should do ourselves that God will not come down from heaven to come and help us to do.
Abi,
It is
thank you
our
for
life.
joining. Now so, okay, let me quickly call on some few people that don't want to talk, even though they text me, but I just want them to say hello. John Bison, good evening. Samuel Kolawole, good evening. Things you people
Hello,
are learning, good evening.
I've been enjoying the class and it's awesome.
Um, you people
Well,
are single, so we
where
are
is
learning
Annie
from
from? Mrs. Bukola.
Okay. John
Yeah.
Bison, good evening to you.
Yeah, the boss, good evening. I greet everyone
Good
in the house.
good evening. We just want to hear your voice. If you have any question, let
Yeah,
us know.
actually,
This
I've
is
been enjoying the conversation so far. And I think let me make a contribution in respect to what the last speaker spoke.
okay.
This thing called finding the right partner, it's very difficult to say that you can just find the right partner. I don't believe in that word, finding the right partner. What I believe in is finding the woman that can click with your own dreams and visions as a man. Is the man that first of all makes that move to search for a woman. And there are qualities a man would definitely see in a woman that will make him want to proceed to say, okay, he eventually wants to get married to such a woman. Yet it's not about that woman being too beautiful, because if you check critically, most of the wealthy men, most of the billionaires, if you check a look at their wives, you see that they are not the supermodels, they are not the most pretty women. But if you check critically, there are women that have character. You understand? So we start asking ourselves, what exactly do men really want in marriage? You see, like for me, if because I'm not married, I think the question boils down to we that are single. If, for example, I want to go into a relationship, there are certain qualities I should be looking for in a woman. Definitely, I want a woman that can click with me, a woman that can partner with me and in progress, a woman that can actually build my home. You see, so it's beyond just facial appearances or being tall. There are a lot of things happening now. Women even do breast enlargement and all of that. So who can we trust now? What men should be looking at is women that have character, women that are educated, and above all, women that fear God. Because there's one thing a man should always understand: a man needs a woman that can raise his children in a very good way. You see, it's not just about yourself, but about your family and your generation to come. So I said, let me just drop that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you for your input. We love your input, but I'll just use 30 seconds to clear it. Like you've been saying, from your point, character is part of it. Likewise, the physical appearance so is part of it. So all those things are the part that make the marriage 100%. Yes, we are saying talking of billionaires. You've seen some other billionaires that their wife are still in shape. They are maintaining their status. So don't get us wrong from all our conversation for the last 15 minutes. The character too is part that make the marriage click. The physical appearance that you want is also part. The sex too is also part. Because last week we started from sex, the food that can enable you. If your wife is not good or the husband is not good, it can affect the marriage. Your wife can have a good character, but if her sex life is zero, it's going to affect the marriage. You will leave character out of it. So all those parts. So that's why we are all dealing with here. So don't get us wrong. Quick, I just want to clear that. All right, thank you everybody. Mrs. Ayeni, you are welcome. You came in late today, so
Yes, good
you need to be
evening.
good evening. All right, thanks for joining us. All right, before we move
Yeah.
on, is there anybody that wants to put
Anybody that
anything
wants to
on
play any
who is put any input on how to find the right partner? I have this last question, which I know is going to we are going to link it to next week. Someone said he said, as husband and wife, can I? This one is about what is even going on right now, social media. He said, can I have a password on my phone? Yes, I can have a password on my phone, but can I tell my wife the password to my phone? Am I still communicating? Can I tell
Let's
my
see.
wife? Can I tell my husband? Nobody else know. Can I tell my wife or husband the password on my phone? Now we are not
I
talking
Adio.
about
think
cheating, no. It's not
yes.
even cheating matter we are talking about now. Don't let us even go into cheating matter. Can you just
Now,
open your
Black Moses, I'll say this. If you have a
Okay.
wife or husband, sometimes it happens in level of girlfriend and boyfriend, even in our institutions. But if you have any partner that would willingly give you access to their phone in this time and age, I tell you, that's your idol. So it's not a must, it's not a commonplace in the world. And to preserve sanity in your marriage and prevent some troubles and aluta, local aluta, it's better to just don't talk about it with your partner. But if your partner willingly gives up access to their mobile phone, that is your idol because it has no place in this real world that we have. So if you find someone like that, I don't think that person is just a partner to you. You should just worship that person.
Did you answer the question, or I don't get? You're a politician. Is that
I'm just stating my position, like the reality in the world today. So I'm not trying to answer it, and I try to, give a position. We are all politicians now.
okay?
So the question seems to be funny.
Yeah, I'm not too. Okay, anybody wants
I've,
to go with that question of
I've
putting
been
now,
laughing.
just to keep everything in sync.
I think on
I'm
the
with you.
on
Who
the
is
ground of trust,
okay?
on the ground of trust in a marital relationship, there is nothing wrong for your spouse to know to have access to your phone, no matter the code. Your husband, your wife should be able to access
Is
it.
that Miss? Okay,
Yes, I'm the
okay. Is
one.
that Mrs. Bukola?
Yes, so
Okay, because you have Laura Bukola.
It's
See,
because
I,
of
important.
I
Okay,
I'll give you an example, a living
you
example.
know,
My dad, you can't have access to his phone, and he's a good man, very responsible man. But then my mom is so open that even when you put code in her phone, she removes it. Do you get it? I mean, in those days, I'm talking about, even it still happens till now. So, and it does not mean that they've been together for how long? For so many years, they are best of partners. So I think it comes to personality. I mean, individuals, and not only that, it's not what you just discuss in marriage, like, let me have access to your phone. Just let that kind of thing pass. But if you find a partner that now opens up like it's nothing, then just appreciate this person. That's it. I mean, but it's not a must. To lock your phone or to open your phone is not it's not a
I
criteria.
okay. Because of our time, let me create a scenario. I wanted to
Okay.
say, I wanted to say, I will not give my partner my password. You know why? Just to be sane, just yes, your partner trusts you, but something happened to me like 2 days ago. Yes, my wife know my passport. Anytime we see him, I will give it to her, nothing to hide. But I make a joke one time like that. I there was a joke I crack sometimes, and this thing happened to me 2 days ago. I was actually looking for a lady's number in our mastermind group, in our business class group. She has left me for some time now since last year. I was actually looking for her number. I couldn't get in touch. So I have to call her cousin that please, I'm looking for so 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 person. Can you help me track her number? So by the time she will track the number and send the number to me, when you're sending number to somebody on WhatsApp, the cousin save the number of that her cousin with sweetheart. It's not funny. So by the time she was sending it, this happened to me like 2 days ago. I'm serious. By the time she was sending the number, the contact, it was sweetheart that appear on my WhatsApp. So as I want to save it, I was seeing sweetheart. I say, oh wow. Now as
yes,
soon as I left the phone open, and I just say, okay, let me go to the bedroom and come back, and sweetheart number is showing on my phone. How am I going to explain that? So I want to say I won't give, just for everybody to be sane, so that we will not go insane in the marriage. And like I said, and there was a joke I cracked, so I'm going to end here. Some times ago, I was at a concert. I wanted to collect a lady's number. All this auto correction. Her name was Fumi. Her name is Fumi. So I tried to save the name with Fumi Sax, but didn't know the Sax changed to sex. So I saved it like that. And now, getting know, Fumi Sax trying to reach me, saying thank you for all those things, and it was Fumi sex that was showing, and the phone was with Madam. So in that case, me, I would say no, but I know we all. I'm just saying from somebody's, like I said, I give so. But I'm just saying this for us to move to next week, and we are like 3 minutes to go. So anybody wants to say a final words on that before we
Uh,
close?
my final word
Okay.
is good night, everyone. Like
Yes,
I
sir.
enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Somebody show up his mic. Okay, Mr. Adi said he enjoy. Who else is going? Mr. Laolu, okay.
Okay, I enjoyed everything. I was about saying
You
something.
enjoy it
One
too.
of one of my colleagues was saying uh, there was a day he was trying to give his wife his phone that she should help her with something, a setting or something. And before he was like away. He looked away before he knew what was happening. The lady was going to his mobile app to you know to bank mobile app to check the account balance, and it was like, woman, this is not what I'm asking you to do. Yeah.
Account details.
I can't do this. I think you understand, but then I don't think there's anything bad. At least to be on the safe side. But it is good when the team flows normally, but not that you are pressing. Give me your password. Give me your password. Let me have your password. But I feel it will just flow normally. I think you understand. So it's nice coming here tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.